My twin sister stood at the center of her medical school graduation party, surrounded by admirers in expensive suits, and laughed when someone asked where I was. Oh, she's working tonight. She's a waitress. Can you imagine? We're twins, but we couldn't be more different. Her fiancé's mother, Patricia, leaned in with mock sympathy. That must be so hard for your family. One daughter a surgeon, the other serving tables. My mother's nervous laugh cut through the room. We're proud of both our girls, of course, but the way she said it, the apologetic tone, told everyone the truth. They weren't proud of both of us. They were embarrassed by one. I know because I was standing in the hallway outside the country club ballroom in my waitress uniform, having just finished my shift at the restaurant downstairs. I'd come to deliver the champagne they'd ordered. Instead, I delivered myself to a truth I'd been avoiding for years. I was the family embarrassment, the twin who didn't measure up, the one they loved but wished was different. What none of them knew, not my sister, not my parents, not Patricia with her passive-aggressive sympathy, was that I was worth $15 million. Our grandfather had left me everything when he died 2 years ago. Every stock, every property, every dollar of the fortune he'd built. He left it to me because I was the only one who'd visited him in the nursing home, the only one who'd sat with him during his last years, while everyone else was too busy building impressive lives to spend time with a dying old man. I'd kept it secret, lived in my small apartment, kept my waitressing job, watched my family pity me while sitting on more money than they'd see in their lifetimes. But standing in that hallway, listening to them laugh about my life, something inside me shifted. Before I tell you what I did next, tell me, have you ever been underestimated by people who should have known better? Have you ever had power you kept hidden while they treated you like you were powerless? And when you finally showed them the truth, did it feel like justice or just sadness? People say twins are supposed to be close. Sophia and I were once. We did everything together as kids. Shared rooms, shared clothes, shared dreams about futures that looked exactly the same. Then high school happened. And suddenly, we weren't the same anymore. Sophia was the smart one, the driven one, the one who got straight A's and perfect test scores and early acceptance to pre-med programs. I was the other one, the one who was good with people and had a nice personality, code words for not as impressive. Our parents never said they loved her more, they just showed it in 1,000 small ways. The way Dad's eyes lit up when Sophia talked about her achievements. The way Mom's friends always asked about your daughter, the doctor, and never mentioned me unless prompted. The way every family dinner became a referendum on Sophia's success and my lack thereof. I stopped trying to compete somewhere around junior year. What was the point? Sophia had claimed the role of family success story. I had been cast as the supporting character in her narrative. So I took a different path. I went to community college, got a degree in hospitality, started working at restaurants because I actually liked it. The fast pace, the people, the immediate gratification of making someone's night better with good service and a warm smile. It wasn't prestigious, but it was mine. Sophia went to an expensive private college, then medical school. Our parents stretched their finances to make it happen, taking out loans and refinancing the house. They never asked me to contribute, but they made sure I knew about the sacrifice. Your sister's education is an investment in all our futures, Dad said once. I didn't ask how my future benefited from their bankruptcy. Our grandfather, Papa Chen, was different. He'd built his fortune from nothing. An Asian immigrant who opened a small grocery store that became a chain, then sold it for millions before retiring. He was the only one who never compared us. Sophia has book smarts, you have people smarts. Both matter. When he got sick and moved into a nursing home, I was the only one who visited regularly. Sophia was too busy with rotations. My parents were too busy working extra shifts to pay her tuition. I'd go every Tuesday and Thursday after my lunch shift, sit with Papa and listen to stories about his life. "You remind me of myself," he said once, holding my hand with his paper-thin fingers. "You know how to see people, how to make them feel human. That's rarer than you think." Sophia saves lives. You make lives worth living. Don't sell yourself short. He died 2 years into Sophia's medical school program. The whole family came to the funeral, Sophia flying in between exams, everyone crying, everyone suddenly remembering how much they'd loved him. The lawyer called me a week later. Miss Chen, your grandfather's will has been executed. He's left his entire estate to you. I thought I'd misheard. His entire estate? Everything. Approximately $15 million in liquid assets plus 3 properties. He was very specific. He left your sister $50,000 for her education, your parents $100,000 to pay off their debts, and everything else to you. Why? He left a letter. I'll send it to you. The letter arrived the next day. In Papa's shaky handwriting, he explained, Sarah, you're getting everything because you're the only one who saw me. Not my money, not what I could do for you, just me. You sat with an old man and made him feel less alone. Your sister will be fine. She has ambition and intelligence. Your parents will be fine. They have each other. But you have something rarer. You have a heart that gives without expecting returns. Use this money to build whatever life you want. And don't let anyone make you feel small ever again. You are always the bigger person. Love, Papa. I cried for an hour. Then I called the lawyer back and told him not to tell my family the full details. Just give them their portions and say the rest went to charity. He was surprised, but agreed. I had my reasons. I wanted to see what they'd do if they thought I was still the unsuccessful twin. If they'd love me without the money. For 2 years, I lived exactly as I had before. Same apartment, same job, same life. I invested most of the money, bought one of Papa's properties to rent out, and kept working because I liked it, and because I needed to know if my family would ever value me for me. They didn't. At every holiday, every family dinner, the conversation centered on Sophia's achievements, her awards, her residency interviews, her engagement to Marcus, a neurosurgeon from a wealthy family. I was always the afterthought. And Sarah's doing well too, Mom would add, like a footnote. Still at the restaurant. Like I hadn't been promoted to floor manager, like I hadn't been offered part ownership, like my life was something to apologize for. Sophia's graduation approached. The family planned a big party. We're inviting everyone, Mom said excitedly. All the relatives, Sophia's friends, Marcus's family. It's going to be at the Riverside Country Club. That's expensive, I said. Papa's money will cover it, Dad replied. He left us just enough to do this right. Just enough. The $100,000 Papa had left them specifically to pay off their debts. They'd spent it on a party instead. Are you coming? Sophia asked when she called to tell me about it. Of course. Great. Mom's worried you might feel weird since, you never finished your degree. I have a degree. I mean, a real one, from a real school. She said it casually, thoughtlessly cruel. But don't worry, nobody's judging you. We're all just proud of our accomplishments, Our accomplishments. Like hers were mine. Like I'd done anything but exist in her shadow. I'll be there, I said. The night of the party, I had a shift at the restaurant, downstairs from the country club ballroom. My manager, Tom, tried to get me to take the night off. Go to your sister's party, he said. I can handle the floor. I'm working. I'll stop by after. I worked the dinner rush, served expensive meals to people who didn't see me, and collected generous tips from people who did. Then I changed into the dress I'd brought. Nothing fancy, just a simple black dress that was appropriate, but not impressive, and went upstairs. The party was in full swing. Sophia looked radiant in a designer dress I knew she couldn't afford on her residence salary. Marcus's family had probably paid for it. They'd paid for a lot. The engagement ring, the venue, the open bar. Marcus's parents, Patricia and Robert, held court in one corner, surrounded by their wealthy friends. My parents hovered nearby, trying to fit in, laughing too loud at jokes that weren't funny. Sophia was the center of attention, exactly where she'd always been. I slipped in quietly, found a spot near the back, and watched. Nobody noticed me arrive. Not my parents, not Sophia. I'd been there 20 minutes before my aunt spotted me. Sarah, you made it! We were wondering if you'd come. Why wouldn't I come? Well, work and everything. Sophia said you couldn't get the night off. Sophia had told people I wasn't coming, like my presence was negotiable, like the family embarrassment might be better off staying home. I was debating leaving when I heard it, the conversation in the hallway. Patricia's voice carrying clearly. One daughter a surgeon, the other serving tables.
That must be so hard for your family. My mother's nervous laugh. We're proud of both our girls. Of course you are, Patricia said in a tone that meant she knew better. But it's nice that Sophia turned out so well. Sometimes twins are competitive, but your Sarah seems to have accepted her limitations. Her limitations. I stood frozen in the hallway, holding a champagne flute, wearing my post-work dress, listening to my worth being calculated and found wanting. Sarah's always been more practical, Dad said. She knows her strengths. Translation, she knows she's not as good as her sister. Someone asked where I was. Sophia's laugh rang out. Oh, she's working tonight. She's a waitress. Can you imagine? We're twins, but we couldn't be more different. Can you imagine? Like my job was a punchline? Like my life was a cautionary tale? Like I was something to be embarrassed about? I walked into that hallway. They turned, surprised, caught. Sarah! Mom's face went pale. We didn't know you were here. Clearly. I looked at each of them. My parents, uncomfortable. Patricia, curious. Sophia, annoyed at the interruption. I was downstairs working, like you all kindly pointed out. We weren't... Don't. I cut him off. I heard everything. Silence. Patricia recovered first, her smile tight. We were just making conversation. You were just deciding I'm worthless compared to my sister. Let's be clear about what this was. Nobody said worthless, Sophia interjected. You said I'm a waitress like it's a disease, like I'm an embarrassment, like the fact that we're twins but turned out different is some kind of tragedy. That's not what I meant. Yes, it was. It's what you've all meant for years. I looked at my parents. Every time you apologize for me, every time you make excuses, every time you center your world around Sophia's success and treat me like the acceptable loss. That's not fair, Mom said. We love you both the same. No, you don't. You love what Sophia became. You tolerate what I am. I turned to leave. Patricia's voice stopped me. I'm sorry you're upset, but surely you understand. Parents naturally celebrate exceptional achievement. Sophia worked hard to become a surgeon. You chose a simpler path. Something in me snapped. A simpler path? I'm not trying to be unkind. Let me tell you about my simple path, I said, stepping back into the hallway. I chose a career I love. I'm good at it. I make people happy. I was promoted to floor manager last year. I've been offered partial ownership of the restaurant. I make good money, not surgeon money, but good money. I have savings. I have a life I built myself. That's wonderful, Patricia started. I'm not finished. I looked at Sophia. You want to know why we're so different? It's not because you're exceptional and I'm simple. It's because I refuse to spend my life competing for scraps of approval from people who'd already decided you were worth more. Sophia's face reddened. That's not... It is. And here's something else you don't know. Papa Chen's will? They all went quiet. He left you $50,000, Sophia, for your education. He left Mom and Dad $100,000 to pay off their debts, which you spent on this party instead. And do you know what he left me? I paused, watching their faces. Everything. His entire estate. $15 million. You could have heard a pin drop. Patricia's mouth fell open. My parents looked like I had slapped them. Sophia laughed, a nervous sound. That's not funny. It's not a joke. Call his lawyer, Richard Morrison at Morrison & Associates. He'll confirm it. Papa left me everything because I was the only one who visited him, the only one who saw him as a person, not an ATM or a legacy. That's impossible, Dad said. Why would you keep working as a waitress if I'm rich? I smiled. Because I wanted to see if you'd ever value me without money, if you'd ever be proud of me for who I am, not what I have. I looked at each of them. You failed. All of you. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Sarah, you didn't know I was rich, but you knew you treated me like I was less than, like I was the twin who didn't matter. Money doesn't change that. Marcus appeared then, drawn by the commotion. What's going on? Sarah apparently inherited millions from her grandfather and decided to let us all think she was just a waitress. I am a waitress. I'm also a millionaire. Both things are true. You just decided one was worth less than the other. I turned to Sophia. Congratulations on your graduation. You worked hard, you earned it, but you didn't earn the right to treat me like I'm disposable.
I walked away. This time, no one stopped me. I heard them arguing as I left, my mother crying, Sophia demanding I come back, Patricia saying something about deception. I didn't care. I went home to my small apartment that I owned outright, poured a glass of wine from a $500 bottle I'd been saving, and felt lighter than I had in years. The calls started the next morning. 17 missed calls from my mother, 9 from Sophia, 3 from my dad. Text messages filled my phone. We need to talk. You can't just drop that on us and leave. This is crazy. Call me back. I didn't call back for 3 days. When I finally answered, it was my mother. "Why didn't you tell us?" she asked, her voice small. "Because I wanted to know if you loved me, not my money, not what I could do for you, just me." "We do love you. You love Sophia more. You always have." "That's not true." "Mom, you spent her graduation party apologizing for my existence. You let her fiancé's mother call me limited? You've spent my entire adult life treating my choices like failures because they weren't as impressive as Sophia's." Silence. Then, quietly, "We didn't mean to make you feel that way." "But you did, for years. What do you want us to do?" I thought about it. "I want you to think about why Papa left the money to me. Why the old man you were all too busy to visit chose the disappointing daughter over the successful one. He was always closer to you. He was close to whoever showed up. I showed up. That's the only difference." We hung up without resolution. Sophia called an hour later. "We need to talk about the money." "No, we don't. Papa clearly wasn't in his right mind when he made that will. 15 million to someone working in a restaurant? That's insane." "So you're gonna contest it?" "I'm saying it should be split fairly. I'm a doctor. I have student loans that Papa gave you 50,000 toward, that our parents bankrupted themselves for, that you've been celebrated for every step of the way." I laughed. "You want more? I want what's fair." "Fair would be you visiting Papa while he was dying. Fair would be you treating me like an equal instead of an embarrassment. Fair would be you not laughing about my job at your party." "I was joking." "You weren't. And now you want half my inheritance because you think being a surgeon makes you more deserving than a waitress. That's exactly why Papa left it to me." "This isn't over," she said. "Yes, it is. Contest the will if you want. Papa's lawyer has documentation of every visit I made, every hour I spent with him. He has the letter Papa wrote explaining his decision. You'll lose, and you'll look greedy doing it." I hung up. She didn't call back. The months after were complicated. My parents tried to rebuild bridges, but the foundation was cracked. They'd come to dinners I hosted at my apartment and look around at my simple furniture with confusion. "You could buy a mansion," Dad said once. "I don't want a mansion. I like my life. But why keep working at the restaurant?" "Because I like it. Because it's mine. Because my worth isn't determined by how much money I have sitting in a bank account." They didn't understand. To them, money was the point. Success was the point. What you achieved mattered more than who you were. Sophia stopped speaking to me entirely. I heard through relatives that she'd consulted with a lawyer about the will and been told she had no case, that Papa had been completely sound of mind and had every right to distribute his estate however he wanted. Her wedding was scheduled for 6 months after her graduation. I received an invitation, a beautiful cream-colored card with embossed lettering. At the bottom, in smaller print, "Intimate ceremony, family only. Reception to follow for extended guests." Translation,
You can come to the reception, but not the actual wedding. Not intimate enough for the disappointing twin. I RSVP'd no for both. My mother called immediately. You have to come to your sister's wedding. I'm not invited to the wedding, just the reception. Because the ceremony is small. Because Marcus's family doesn't want me there. Because I'm the embarrassment. We both know that. Sarah, please. She's your twin. And I'm hers. But she chose a long time ago that our relationship mattered less than her image. She's trying. No, she's not. She's angry I got Papa's money and she didn't. She's treating me exactly as she's always had. Why would I celebrate that? My mother cried. I felt guilty but didn't change my answer. The week before the wedding, Sophia showed up at the restaurant. I was working the dinner shift, taking orders from a table of regulars who always requested my section. She stood by the host stand in an expensive coat, looking completely out of place. I finished with my table and walked over. Can I help you? We need to talk. I'm working. This is important. I looked at my manager. He nodded. Take 15. We went outside to the alley behind the restaurant. Sophia looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. I don't understand you. Clearly. You have $15 million and you're working at a restaurant. You wear clothes from Target. You live in a tiny apartment. What's the point of having money if you live like you don't? The point is that money doesn't define me. My life does. That's naive. That's freedom. I leaned against the brick wall. Sophia, I watched you spend years killing yourself to become a surgeon, to impress mom and dad, to be the successful twin, and you made it. You're successful. You have everything you wanted. Not everything. You have everything you valued, the career, the respect, the rich fiancé, the social standing. You got it all. And I got the money. I got what Papa thought I deserved because I valued him when he had nothing left to give but time. She looked away. I was busy. You were busy being impressive. I was busy being present. Papa noticed the difference. So that's it? You're not coming to my wedding because I didn't visit an old man enough? I'm not coming because you've spent years treating me like I'm less than you, and finding out I'm rich didn't change that. It just made you jealous. I'm not jealous of a waitress. See? You can't even help yourself. I pushed off the wall. I have to get back to work. Sarah! She grabbed my arm. I'm sorry. For the party, for the things I said, for it all. Are you sorry you did it? Or sorry it turned out I'm rich? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. I went back inside, finished my shift, and went home. I didn't think about her wedding. I didn't think about what I was missing. The day of Sophia's wedding, I worked a double shift. Then I went home, ordered takeout, and watched movies in my pajamas. My phone buzzed once. A text from my mother. Family photo, wish you were here. Attached was a picture of Sophia in her wedding dress, surrounded by our parents and Marcus's family. She looked beautiful, happy, complete without me. I deleted the text and went to sleep. 2 weeks later, I got a call from an unknown number. Miss Ken, this is David Wu. I'm a wedding photographer. I worked your sister's wedding. Okay. Wait, there's something you should see. Can I email you one photo? Just one?
I was curious despite myself. Fine. The photo arrived 5 minutes later. It was from the reception. Sophia sitting alone at the head table while everyone danced. Her expression wasn't happy. It was hollow, empty. Like she'd gotten everything she wanted and found it wasn't enough. I stared at that photo for a long time. Then I called my mother. What happened at the wedding? What do you mean? The photographer sent me a picture. Sophia looks miserable. Mom sighed. Patricia gave a toast. It was not kind. She made several comments about Sophia's family background.
Your father got upset and left early. Sophia spent most of the reception trying to smooth things over. And Marcus? Marcus didn't defend her. He said his mother was just being honest. I closed my eyes. That's awful. I know. She called me crying the next day. Said she wished you'd been there. Because I'm good in a crisis, or because she actually missed me? Both, maybe? I didn't call Sophia, but I sent a text. Mom told me about the wedding. I'm sorry Patricia was awful. You deserved better. She responded immediately. Thank you. I deserved you being there too. I'm sorry. I know. 3 days later, a letter arrived. Handwritten from Sophia. Sarah. I've been thinking about what she said. About Papa and the visits and why he left you everything. You were right. I was too busy being important to be there when it mattered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for treating you like you were less than me. I'm sorry for being embarrassed by your job. I'm sorry for not defending you at my graduation party. I'm sorry for caring more about Marcus's family's opinion than my own sister. I don't expect you to forgive me. I wouldn't forgive me. But I want you to know that I see it now. How I valued all the wrong things. How I built a life that looks impressive, but feels empty. You were the smart one all along. You built a life you actually like. You're happy. I'm successful, but I'm not happy. I'm married to someone who won't stand up for me. I'm surrounded by people who value what I do, not who I am. I'm exactly what our family trained me to be, and I hate it. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if we can be sisters again after everything I've done. But I want you to know I'm trying to be better. I quit the practice Marcus's father sent me up at. I'm working at a community hospital now. Less prestigious, but the patients actually need me. It feels more real. I'm also in therapy, trying to understand why I needed validation so badly that I sacrificed everything else for it, including you. I don't expect anything from you. Not forgiveness, not relationship, not even a response. I just wanted you to know that you were right about everything, and I'm sorry it took me this long to see it. Love, Sophia. I read that letter 5 times, cried twice, then I called her. Hi, she answered, voice cautious. Hi. Silence. I got your letter. Okay. Are you actually in therapy, or was that just something to make the letter sound good? I'm actually in therapy, twice a week. And the community hospital? My 3rd week. It's hard, but good. Real medicine, not rich people's vanity problems. I smiled despite myself. That's good. Sarah, can we get coffee sometime? I thought about it. About years of hurt, about being underestimated and dismissed and erased from her narrative, about standing in hallways listening to my worth being calculated and found wanting. But I also thought about Papa's letter, about having a heart that gives without expecting returns, about being the bigger person. Maybe, I said. Not today, but maybe. I'll take maybe. Her voice cracked. That's more than I deserve. Probably. I love you. I know I haven't shown it, but I do. I know. I love you too. That's why this hurts so much. We talked for 20 minutes. Surface stuff. Safe stuff. Nothing deep. But it was a start. We hung up with plans to try coffee next month. Maybe. I don't know if Sophia and I will ever be close again. Trust once broken doesn't heal clean. But maybe that's okay. Maybe some relationships aren't meant to be restored to what they were. Maybe they're meant to become something new, something built on honesty instead of hierarchy. These days, I still work at the restaurant 3 days a week. I bought into ownership last month, so now I'm building something that's mine. I also started a foundation with some of Papa's money, scholarships for first-generation college students pursuing non-traditional careers, hospitality, service, trades, All the paths people dismiss as less than. The rest of the money? Invested. Growing. Waiting for whatever comes next. My parents and I are rebuilding slowly. They're learning to value me without the apologetic tone, learning that my daughter who serves tables is just as worthy as their daughter who's a surgeon. Some days they forget and fall back into old patterns, but they're trying. Marcus and Sophia are in marriage counseling. I heard through my mom that Patricia makes passive-aggressive comments about the community hospital being such a waste of Sophia's potential. I don't think that marriage will last, but that's Sophia's journey, not mine. If you've ever been underestimated by your own family, I see you. If you've ever been the forgotten twin, the disappointing child, the one they love but wish was different, I understand. Tell me, when did you stop trying to prove your worth to people who'd already decided you weren't enough? And when you finally chose yourself over their approval, did it feel like freedom or just loneliness? The trust fund I never told them about changed my life. Not because of the money, though that helped, but because it forced everyone to see that worth isn't measured by prestige or degrees or impressive careers. It's measured by who you are when no one's watching, who you show up for when there's nothing to gain. Papa saw that in me. And when I stopped waiting for my family to see it too, I saw it in myself. I'm not the successful twin. I'm not the one with the impressive career or the wealthy husband or the social standing. I'm just the one who's happy. And honestly, I got the better deal.